Hi, I'm Rob Cram, and today we're taking a look at Cyberpunk 2077. And I think I've got a few things I want to get off my chest, because there's a lot of stuff going around from various people that have played parts of the game, and their expectations have been thrown out of sync in terms of what this game is, what you can do in this game. But there's also a lot of misinformation from people playing on lesser systems, like on the original Xbox One and the original PS4. People that are playing on PS4 Pro and Xbox One X are having a much better experience than those playing on those very early systems. And then obviously you've got people that are playing on PC, where most of the all of the reviews that were initially released were done from the PC version. I'm not sure what particular systems were being used there, but the PC experience is definitely the definitive experience as of now. Now, obviously, you know my system specs. I'm running on the most top-end PC available, or consumer PC that is, with a RTX 3090. So I'm running everything at max settings or ultra settings with ray tracing enabled. So I'm getting kind of the ultimate way that the game is meant to be played. And I'm having a wonderful time with over 30 hours invested so far, and I've still got a long ways to go in terms of the story. You can see that ray tracing now as I'm walking along. So the thing that I want to get off my chest, the main beef that I have, aside from the fact that there's been a bit of ambiguity with how CD Projekt Red have handled the launch and misleading consumers with the Xbox One and PS4 version, saying that before release that it was fine, it was playable, and then once it actually came to release day and people were playing it, that was far from the truth. I think they tried to defend themselves by saying, well, and then there's also, let me rewind a bit, there was also the fact that reviewers weren't allowed to use their own footage. They weren't allowed to, they didn't have PS4 or Xbox versions given to them. It was just a PC version. So this was all seen as a sort of cloak and dagger thing by CD Projekt Red, they're misleading people. And then they come out and said, well, the reason for that was because we had hoped that a patch that we were working on would have been ready for that time, and that would have improved the game, which in hindsight it has improved the game for those people somewhat. It's not fixed it entirely, but it has improved the game, and that patch wasn't available before launch or at launch. So I can understand where they're coming from, but I can also understand from the consumer point of view that it's kind of misleading, especially with that comment that they made that they think the game is running fine on last gen systems, which I'm not going to say is a lie, but is misleading, because obviously the game varies greatly in terms of what you're doing, where you are in the map. I mean, if you go out into the Badlands, you could say yes, the game runs pretty smoothly and it probably works well on PS4 and Xbox One. And then also there's the other versions that are available. There's the two different versions of the PS4 and Xbox One. Are they talking about the PS4 Pro? Are they talking about the Xbox One X? That's also the big issue. So yeah, it's kind of a bit of a crazy and messed up launch. This was supposed to be one of the most anticipated games, and it's been a bit of a foobar launch for those owning Xbox One and PS4 consoles. And the problem CD Projekt Red has is the fact that those are the massive install bases. That's where they're going to get a lot of the money, although reading around, they got a lot of pre-orders on the PC, which is kind of interesting, considering PC has also been, well, in the last 10 years, has been seen as the platform for piracy, and that's the least dominant platform compared to consoles. So that's quite an interesting turnaround, that people are now playing on the PC platform and not resorting to piracy. I can tell you that the game was available on day one. There's no DRM, and people were able to download that from day one from pirate websites. So it's great to hear that I think they said about 59% of their pre-orders were from PC platform, which is pretty damn good, impressive. So that's positive news on that front. So aside from that, and again, you have to take your own stance on that, whether CD Projekt Red are the bad guys, you know, should they have come clean and said it's not really running well, we're going to delay it, or should they have said, well, look, let's ditch that Xbox One and PS4 version and just have it going on the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X. I mean, but how do you do that? I mean, the industry isn't set up for that, and you've got all these kind of rules and regulations that say if you're going to launch it on that platform, then it has to be for all consoles on the platform. And when they announced the game, those were the platforms that they were aiming for. So obviously somewhere along the development process, something happened, and the game got too big, and they haven't managed to scale it down to work well on those systems fully. So that's an issue for them to work out, and they've said that next year they will be introducing some patches to fix that. Okay, fair enough. Not good if you pre-ordered and now you're trying to refund it and you can't get a refund on it, now you're stuck with this game. But obviously it's a game that you will play eventually once you've got issues fixed. And I guess even now, playing it now on those older systems, you're still going to get some enjoyment. I mean, I've been reading around various opinions of people on GameFAQs and Reddit and other places, News for Gamers. You know, there are people out there that, in their large numbers, mind, it's not just one or two people, large numbers of people are actually enjoying playing the game on those older consoles. So that's encouraging. But the biggest beef now, and the point that I'm going to make with this particular video, is that a lot of people that have got an expectation of what this game should and should have and shouldn't have, and you know what's available, and it's a bare bones open world is what I've heard a lot been bandied about. There's nothing to do here. It's just open world, and you can't do anything. The people don't. They're just normal people wandering around. You don't do anything. It's just there's nothing to do here. And I'm going to say bollocks to that. Complete big capital B bollocks. I mean, let's just rewind this for a second, right? In what game do you really spend a lot of time sitting there messing around with the NPCs, aside from the most recent Watch Dogs Legion, which is a point of messing around with the NPCs? That's the whole game mechanic. But prior to that, what game do you actually sit there messing around with NPCs rather than doing story missions and side content and stuff like that? I'm sure someone will say, yeah, well actually in Red Dead Redemption 2 I did all this with the people, in GTA 5 I was able to go and get the prostitutes and go and take them on a drive, and you know, and do all sorts of stuff with the NPCs. Fine, you could do that, but it's not something that you're going to spend a massive amount of time doing, is it now? Being realistic about this. So what my takeaway is now, with this some 30 hours of messing around here, playing with the story, playing the side missions, is that yeah, there is a lot of fluff in the open world. There's a lot of stuff there that's mechanical, and stuff there that's to make things look like you're in a city and you're doing stuff within that city that has a populace. You know how, you know, the idea of the cyberpunk world is that it's a mega city, so you've got to have all these people, but it's not about you know interacting with all those people. What you are interacting with is the specific story, side content, and the structured missions that are available as part of what they've designed, rather than this sort of emergent radiant stuff that just sort of happens on the fly. I mean, there is some of that available. You can, I mean, earlier I was just wandering, walking the streets. I saw some people, some gang members that were just hanging out. Next minute, as I was walking past, I think there was Maelstrom just suddenly turned up in a car, got out and started shooting the Tiger Claws, and there was a shootout. It just randomly happened, and I sat back there and I sort of stealthed and sniped a few of them. And yeah, it was great. It was just a sort of a unscripted moment, which is cool. But I mean, what people are after here now, they want stuff that was talked about during the game's development, and stuff that I probably think will be added at a later date. And to be fair, I think that is a valid criticism. There's a lot of stuff that could be added that isn't. I mean, you've got the combat cabs, that's not included here. That would have been a nice feature to have that, to work that into the mechanics. A lot of people are, again, complaining about the fact that there's a huge amount of sexualized content in this game. The whole world is based around kind of these sexual themes. And yet the BDs, you know, the BDs, which are a big part of that, is non-existent in terms of sexual content. And then things like being able to have sexual relations with NPCs and stuff is very bare bones compared to the amount of heavy dosage of sexualized content in the visual sense that is appearing in this game. As you can see here, everywhere, it's incredible. But obviously CD Projekt Red aren't going to sit there and make a sexual game. Obviously they've got to sort of toe the line somewhere. But I think it's a valid criticism. They could add a bit more stuff for those that want to seek that out, and hopefully they will do something as a DLC extra at some point. Saying that though, if you look beneath the surface, if you delve deeper, you might uncover some things that you may have missed. There's a lot of stuff here in this night city that you can easily overlook, and this brings me back to my main point I'm trying to make here, is there's nothing to do. It's just a map with nothing to do in it. Let's stop that comment right now. Right, let's go and look at the bloody map. Right, there's nothing to do here. Okay, so nothing to do here. Look at this map, filled with lots of stuff to do. Every one of these icons is something to do, pretty much. You got random assault in progress. Okay, they're random elements. You got people to hunt down, like go to Juliet's home and track this target and hunt them down. You've got side jobs. You've got buying vehicles. You've got just general things that you could do. Collectibles, if you want to do that. Buying clothes. Saving up money for that. You've got all sorts of stuff you can do here. Rescue a person mission. You've got delivery missions. You've got thief missions. You've got stealth missions. You've got all sorts of stuff that you can do, and that's aside from the main gigs and stories that you have as well. And if I, without trying to be too spoilerish, if I go to my journal and just quickly scroll down all of the stuff that I've been doing, you can see how long that list is. Huge amount of stuff that I've completed so far. Massive list of stuff, and I've still got so much more to do. So this map is just filled with stuff to do. What more do people want? I mean, what more do you want to do in this map when there's just so much stuff to do, and it's going to take many hours to actually do it? I think people just like to complain for the sake of complaining sometimes, or they've got their own specific expectation of what they want in the game, and when that's not there, they begin to start complaining and say, oh, well, it didn't live up to my expectation. Now, one thing that I found interesting is you've got all these bars here, right? Again, some of them are not easy to discover, and I mean, where am I now on the map? Let's see if I can just sort of demonstrate. There's one here. Now, some might be obvious. Let's get out on foot. Some might be obvious to discover. Because I heard someone say, well, you can't just sit down. You can't just even sit down and do anything. I mean, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to just sit here and just sit and do nothing? And that's your level of interaction. Well, you can sit here and do nothing. Obviously, you're crouching there. But they've got bars for you to go and sit and kick back and have a drink, if that's what you want to do. I mean, that's what you would do in real life. You wouldn't just go and sit on the street. So let's go and find one of these bars. Now, the bars are quite interesting because you might not easily find the bar. I mean, some are really white in the open, like this one appears to be. But some of you might have to climb up a building, sort of walk along the outside edge of a skyscraper, climb over some boards, and then you'll find the bar, and you'll find a big massive club inside and people dancing, and you know, it's pretty crazy. So this is quite an easy bar to find, this one here. But if you go back to the map, there's tons of them all over the map, everywhere. I mean, obviously there's not much to do in the bar, sit down and have a drink, but you know, that's, I mean, if you look at these bar icons, they're everywhere, all over the map. Proceeding to show no bars on any part of the map. Yeah, you can see them, they're littered about. So the other thing that as well then, so these side missions as well, these are pretty impressive. And I think a lot of people can appreciate this as well that have been playing this game. The side missions are pretty incredible in terms of the stories that they offer. I mean, it's I wonder if I can just go back to a previous save and show you the one that I've just completed. I mean, each side mission has really got some attention to detail in terms of the story. So it is a kind of a copy paste thing of like, go here, kill guards, retrieve object, but the story that surrounds that is pretty impressive and well thought out and engaging. I mean, let's try and do that. If I can load, if I can find where it is. It will be back here, autosave 4, I believe. And just give you an example of the craziness of the stories that you'll discover. Aside from these stories, the main missions I found have been pretty good. Some nice characters. I mean, okay, your choices don't really make much of an impact. I think perhaps...
B, got a gig for you.
Stop talking for a second.
One I'd rather not have. Bryce Stone, preacher on TV. His son was brutally murdered. Only way to catch this child killer is to get your hands on the original BD that recorded the whole thing. Yeah, you heard that right, unfortunately. More info attached.
Okay, so basically I've got to go and find... I've got to storm this area here, which is full of some nasty people. So again, how you approach this now is entirely up to you. Now I can bring out my guns and start shooting and just storm the place, or I can try and be a bit more sneaky. There's several ways into this actual building here. You don't have to even engage these guards if you can find the right way in. If you look at how it's designed, there's a way in up here. Maybe even in this other building here, you'll be able to find a way in. But for the sake of this video, but let's just try and see if I can get in this way. If there's a way in this way at all. See, if I had the right skill, I could probably get in that way. I don't. Anyway. So then you can exercise your character abilities. Hack the camera.
Daddy and his... Whiten out, will ya? Eddie's a legit. Whoa, so this
So
the be all
climb
and
in
all
here
of Night
as well.
City now? Don't like it, take it up with Pat. Why don't I just short circuit myself while I'm at it? Ah, fuck that noise.
So you get these little stories, they're talking to each other if you listen to what they're talking about, all related to this mission. Stealth it. can now distract the other guard here, and I can dump their bodies in the dumpster if I want to. Just wait for him to come out. I'm not going to bother putting them in the dumpster, so just leaving them there. So I know that there's tons of guards up there, more cameras as well. But what I'm going to do is just quickly go to my inventory because I haven't leveled up. I've got loads of points waiting for me to level up, 9, and I know that there's one that's pretty good for stealth, which is to get extra damage on headshots outside of combat. So I've got a nice silenced weapon here, so let's move up here. I'm going to try and do this quickly.
You see it?
See what? One where she drowns?
Nah, one where the bored out fucked it.
Let's see if I can do this stealthily
Okay,
first.
Watch that.
Shit.
What's that?
Seeing those weak, flabby meat suits gets me harder than chrome.
And climb through the window. Somebody in there as well.
Fuck
Well,
that.
I'm being spotted. Is that turret? No, all good. Right, so as part of this story, I found the studio.
Right there.
Right before he gets...
What do you think? Else it'll feel like stabbing a pillow.
Okay, pulling up by 1 frame. Augmenting pain feedback and ferrous aftertaste.
So basically, these
Boy, you're a natural.
people here have been making BDs with murdering boys, young boys.
No, leave it.
So I can now walk out and leave these two to carry on and then stealth it out of here to complete the stealth mission, or I can confront them now.
Wakey, wakey, gentlemen.
What's happening? Security!
Too far away to hear us. Well, let's not do anything
Let's just put my
rash
gun
here.
away.
We just tune and sell. We don't scroll. Honest to God. We can figure this out. Just tell us what you want.
Got
and
a
we'll
little
make
family affair going here, huh?
People want to buy, so we sell. Business is business.
Basically, they're
Looking
scum.
for something in
You
particular?
know, if it wasn't us, there'd be someone else.
Well, I've already got
see
the
something
BD.
Really hardcore?
Freddy! We just supply what Night City demands.
Papa! Why? Why did you have to kill him? I'll do
Shut up.
anything.
No, I didn't have to do that. But that was my choice. Now I've got to get out of here undetected. Remember, this area is hostile. And then I'll drop the recording in the Dropbox. Mission complete. So that was pretty cool. Let's reload that save and go back again. And do it a different way. I've got to find the right save again. I think it was this one here, autosave 5. So basically the game is full of these moments, full, and I mean full to the brim. Hours and hours worth of experimenting with different builds Oh, it's put me here. That's fine.
Still can't fathom why you watch that shit.
Right, let's try and do it slightly differently this time. In fact, let's just go full on hardcore mode. What's my health like? Let's get boosted up. So I'll get more street cred now for doing all of this. Oh, turret, not good, not good. Oh, messed up. I forgot about the turrets. Again, I can hack those to turn them off. Let's try that again. Obviously very different to the stealth way of playing a second ago. Hopefully it will put me back in the let's put me back here again.
Still can't fathom why you watch that shit.
Seeing those weak, flabby meat suits gets me harder than chrome. Oh, now it all makes sense.
Oh dear, gruesome. Here they come. I mean, there is a cover system in this game.
Motherfucker!
It's not very good though. I've got all these cameras that have spotted me. There's the cover system. Let's go. Another camera.
Hey, move your ass! You're narrowing us! We got problems!
Yeah, you can swap to melee and take him out that way. Let's see if I can... Whoops. I'll hack the camera. Right, turret's deactivated. Right, we're back here now.
Cut! Right there.
There's the object that I need. Leave the area.
Buckle up! Let's do this!
So instead of going out that way, let's go out the way we came. Finish off these scumbags. Looks like there's none left. Brought reinforcements. I think I've got it on normal difficulty as well at the moment. It's a bit cheap. Oh, my grenade didn't go off. Okay. Let's deposit the... Well, there's probably a lot of loot there that I've left behind. It's over there, I'll leave that there. Mission complete.
Great work, B. Let's hope it helps trace the motherfucker who scrolled the thing. Gig's closed.
And there you have it. So yeah, that's interesting. Just one of many missions that you can do in this game, and I find that, you know, if you mix it up, you can obviously do it your own play style. If you mix it up, You get a lot of enjoyment just messing around with the different nuances that are on offer to you as a player in this game. I mean, you can sort of be regimental and stick to a specific build type, but I'm finding just doing a bit more freeform, maybe starting off stealth, but if things turn for a worse, then you go with the flow and you just carry on.
None of this me. Cold, dead metal.
And here's another mission here coming up.
What have I done to deserve this?
But I'm not going to get into that right now. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that. So yeah, let's just go back once more to the map. In fact, let me just show you my character first. That's one thing I haven't shown you. And again, she's rather cool looking. There's an absolute ton of stuff you can find in terms of clothing. Let's just have a look. I've got so many different items that I've found along the way. You've got the photo mode as well. You get the point.
It is nothing but I'm feeling metal.
So yeah, go back to the map. Tons of stuff to do here. Look at it. The map is filled with stuff. Filled to the brim. And that's aside from the actual main story missions. So don't let people fool you. And it's very easy to go onto the internet and hear a lot of negativity surrounding games. Not just this one. Of people, you know, you've got a lot of complainers in this world. And if you listen to all the complaints, you would never do anything. You'd never buy anything. You'd never play anything. So in this instance, I'm having a great time with this game. And I'm still playing it. Still enjoying it. Some 30 hours in. And got a lot more to explore. I've still got tons of stuff I haven't been to and explored, and I'm not even that far into the story. So yeah, good stuff. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm Rob Cram. Thanks for watching.